The Cathedral of Pisa is a medieval, Roman Catholic cathedral, dedicated to the Assumption of the Virgin Mary, in the Piazza dei Miracoli in Pisa. It is a notable example of Romanesque architecture, in particular, the style known as Pisan Romanesque. Construction on the cathedral began in 1063 by the architect Bushtu, and expenses were paid using the spoils received fighting against the Muslims in Sicily in 1063. The church was erected outside Pisa's High Middle Age era walls, to show that Pisa was so powerful, it had no fear of being attacked. The chosen area had already been used in the Lombard era as a necropolis, and at the beginning of the 11th century a church had been erected here, but never finished. That church was to be named Santa Maria. Bushtu's grand new church was initially called Santa Maria Maggiore until it was officially named Santa Maria Assunta. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is the campanile, or freestanding bell tower, of the cathedral. Known worldwide for its unintended tilt. The tower is situated behind the Pisa Cathedral, and is the third oldest structure in the city's cathedral square, Piazza del Duomo, after the cathedral and the Pisa Baptistery. The tower's tilt began during construction in the 12th century, caused by an inadequate foundation on ground, too soft on one side to properly support the structure's weight. The tilt increased in the decades before the structure was completed in the 14th century. It gradually increased, until the structure was stabilized, and the tilt partially corrected, by efforts in the late 20th and early 21st centuries. The height of the tower is 55.86 meters, 183.27 feet, from the ground on the low side, and 56.67 meters, 185.93 feet, on the high side. The width of the walls at the base is 2.44 meters, 8 feet. Its weight is estimated at 14,500 metric tons. The tower has 296 or 294 steps, the seventh floor has two fewer steps on the north-facing staircase. Prior to restoration work performed between 1990 and 2001, the tower leaned at an angle of 5.5 degrees. But the tower now leans at about 3.99 degrees. This means the top of the tower is displaced horizontally 3.9 meters, 12 feet 10 inches, from the center. Construction of the tower occurred in 3 stages, over 199 years. Work on the ground floor of the white marble campanile began on August 14, 1173 during a period of military success and prosperity. This ground floor is a blind arcade articulated by engaged columns with classical Corinthian capitals. The tower began to sink after construction had progressed to the second floor in 1178. This was due to a mere 3-meter foundation, set in weak, unstable, subsoil. A design that was flawed from the beginning. Construction was subsequently halted for almost a century, because the Republic of Pisa was almost continually engaged in battles with Genoa, Lucca, and Florence. This allowed time for the underlying soil to settle. Otherwise, the tower would almost certainly have toppled. In 1198, clocks were temporarily installed on the third floor of the unfinished construction. In 1272, construction resumed under Giovanni di Simone, architect of the Camposanto. In an effort to compensate for the tilt, the engineers built upper floors with one side taller than the other. Because of this, the tower is curved. Construction was halted again in 1284 when the Pisans were defeated by the Genoans in the Battle of Maloria.